welcome to Harvesting Heritage. Join me in my greenhouse for my first seed starting day. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little behind, and it's silly to feel behind because things want to grow and it's middle of February, so I should have plenty of time. Let's see. Here's my greenhouse, and it'll be my first year gardening in it. It's a Palram Chalet Greenhouse. I will for sure need to use a little space heater for the next couple of weeks. We've been getting freezing temperatures, and in fact, they think I'm in the Bay Area and they think we might get snow. That'll be surprising, but I'll be prepared. One of the really great things that my mom did while she was here is she actually washed all of my gloves for the season, and she went ahead and organized them, so I am ready to go. Okay, so we've cleaned up my greenhouse just a little bit. It is a working greenhouse, so it's never going to be perfect. But what I have here is a bin that I'm going to dump my seed starter mix in. I will be able to add some water, and then I have all of my seed starting trays ready to go that I'll pull down. And then I have all of my seeds in these two buckets. And we're going to be starting with onions, and then I have my spreadsheet that tells me exactly what it is that I am past due on starting, so we'll focus there. I brought these couple of plants in just because I'm a little worried about the cold tonight, so we'll go ahead and leave them in here. And here's the seed starting list that we're working with. I created this on seedtime.com, which is a new online program where you put in each of your varieties, and then it'll give you when, based on your last frost date, when you could start it. So you'll see I could have started my onions in December, but it's okay. We're gonna start when we can. I've never started anything in my greenhouse before. This is my first year, and I don't think that this greenhouse is fully sealed yet. So I'm going to be using a little space heater out here. It does have a heat monitor on it, so it will automatically turn off and not get too hot in here. And then I'm also going to use some seed starting mats, and that should keep the soil warm enough to germinate these. Our last frost is coming up pretty soon. I think we'll get all the seeds germinated, and then I won't have to worry as much about the little seedlings having issue in here. And then I'm excited to not need my grow lights. I had been growing my starts inside the house with grow lights, and I'm not using those years. So this is a new adventure. And the way that this works, you plug it in and you choose the temperature that you want, up and down, and then this will turn on and off the electricity based on the temperature read that this little probe is getting. And so I will need to remember to put this probe inside probably center trays that I start. But this is how it will know, and it's really simple. It is a commercial grade one that I got from Haas Tools. I think they have something slightly different now, but it would work. And then this says it's a Ready Heat digital thermometer by, I won't bother saying that name. There you go. It looks like I need to get some extension cords. I'm back, and in fact, it's the afternoon after work, so I'm gonna enjoy a glass of wine while I do my seed starting. This extension cord should work. Don't tell Sean I took it from our Christmas decoration bin. Reminder, buy another. And actually, this tool bin over here has plugs on this side, and so once I get it plugged in, I'll have a bunch more outlets to plug in, so that will be my extension cord as well. And this sink is just hooked up to my regular hose bib. We have power. So I've got my heater going and everything's plugged in down here. I have power, and you see it's set to 76. And then roll these out. Now, until I get in here to do the caulking, I do know that we broke the rules a little bit and added this cute little chandelier. So there's one small drip of water that could potentially come in. And so I've been really careful to keep all the electrical away. And I completely unplug that light. It's just a normal outlet whenever I leave this space. So it's very safe. I'm ready to start some seeds, so let's get going. I like to have plastic gloves on when I'm mixing water in with my soil, just so my hands don't get too cold. It is currently 53 degrees in here, so not too bad, but not something I want my hands in for a long time. And I'm gonna go ahead and dump this entire bag of seed starting mix because I'm confident I'm gonna use it before the next couple weeks. So that was a little fast. All that work I did to clean up. Oh well. Will be much nicer. This soil was really dry. It's left over from last year. And so it's going to take quite a bit of water to rehydrate it. But it's much easier to rehydrate your soil before you put your seeds in it, because you take the chance of displacing your seeds when you place them, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather keep everything really wet up front and then not have to water today. So at this point, this soil is fully saturated. It's not dripping, but if I squeeze it, it starts to have a little bit of drips. And that's how the first 5 inches of this soil is. You can even see on the side, that's not wet yet. And that's fine. I'm gonna start using what I have and then continue to wet as I see that I need to. So I'm gonna use these trays today. They individually pop into individual cups, and they're okay. I wouldn't necessarily recommend these for ongoing use. They really only work one season, maybe 2. In the future, I will definitely be buying something a little more reusable. Holy smokes, that got heavy. But for now, since I have it, I'm going to make use of what I have. And then these trays will go inside of these trays, which again, not my favorite, but they'll do. And then I also like to give them a little bit more stability with this tray. But I want to have this as close to the heat mat as possible. So I'm going to skip that until they're grown up a little bit more. I also have a ton of seed starting tags, and I'll need to go grab a marker to mark them with. seeds are you guys starting today? Have you started your onions? Maybe your artichokes? I'm not starting artichokes this year because they're perennial in our area, and I must have harvested 30 artichokes. I feel a bit behind on things like onions and brassicas. So that'll be my focus, and I'll share with you the seeds that I do get started today. But basically every day this week, I'll be up to the same thing, checking to see if I have any happy birthdays from the existing seeds that I have going, and then adding additional. Also fun this year, I've contacted my 3 closest neighbors, and I've asked them what they'd like in their veggie garden. So I'm starting special things just for them. It's going to be great to be able to share all of the abundance that will come out of this greenhouse. Tell me in the comments, how many seeds are you starting? I have a family of 2. It's me and Sean right now, and I probably do a lot more than I need to. But again, I give them to my neighbors. I have lots of friends that garden, and so I will be gifting quite a bit. And then I love having a large garden that I can share the abundance of the season too. So I overplant. I also don't feel like you have to do seed starting mix by any means at all. It's again just what I happen to have, so I'm using what I have. But I would use potting soil, no problem, as long as it had thinner, not a lot of mulch in it. Particularly for some of these bigger containers, that wouldn't be a problem at all. The best thing so far about having this greenhouse is that this seed starting situation is not happening in my kitchen. So Sean's making me dinner in a clean kitchen, and I am leaving the dirt outside where it belongs. And I'm actually realizing maybe I will start my big 300 cell one while I have the seed starting mix, because this is my last bag, and I do think those small cells would benefit from having this seed starting mix. So I'll get that down and fill that up. My first year starting seeds, I was so slow and methodical. Make sure every little nook and cranny is filled, and fill it up exactly to the top part, and all of those details. Plants don't care. So I put the measuring in immediately. Nothing's in these trays yet, but I don't want to forget, because otherwise the tray will absolutely overheat. We don't want that. And then here's that, I think it's a 360 seed tray. And that I got that from Hostels a couple years ago. And this is what I'm talking about, this heavy duty tray and seed starting. This I will be able to use forever, like forever, 20 years, versus this flimsy stuff just gives out so easily. And here are the garden markers that I like. I found these on Amazon, so I'll link them for you. I like that they're thin, and they seem to hold up relatively well. So the reason why I was smacking it down is there's all of these little holes between each cell, which just dump into the bottom, so it's wasted soil. So it's just pulling it out. And that's all that's left of all that seed starting mix. I'm just gonna put it underneath, and we will use that next time. So probably like a lot of you, that you work full time, and when you get to do your seed starting is at night. So we are losing a little bit of light. I'm sorry about that. But this is when I can start my seeds. So we're gonna go with it. And I have a beautiful light above me. There's a heater on in here, pointed at me. And we're gonna start some seeds.